Hey guys, do you guys see this digital design of this little girl having a crazy hair day? You guys are going to be creating something similar to this today. So let's talk about how we're going to do that. First, let's start off with our standard. Our standard for this assignment is we're going to be focusing on creating works of art based on selected themes. Okay, so we're going to be focusing on our elements of art. And your I can statements for today is going to be I can create a digital design focusing on lines. I can use digital media to create a portrait. And I can improve my digital art skills over time. Okay. Your vocabulary for this assignment will be point, line, and portrait. So we've talked about lines before, okay? Most of you guys should be familiar with this. A line is a path created by a point moving in space. So once you have created that point and you begin to move it through a path, you are creating a line, okay? And you guys know that we have a variety of different kind of lines, okay? So we're about to go through these lines and I want you guys to call out what the line is when you see it, okay? What line do you think this is? If you said vertical, you are correct. What line is this? If you said horizontal, you are correct. This one is slanted. What kind of line is slanted? If you said diagonal, you are correct. This line is broken up. What do we call a broken line? Dash line. Good job. This line reminds us of when we draw clouds. What do we call this line? If you said scallop, you are correct. This line can remind us of hills and rainbows. What kind of line is this? If you said curve, you are correct. This one, we think of kings and queens. What do we think this line is called? If you said castle, you are correct. This one is very easy to guess. Dotted, good job. Now this one, it kind of looks like a circle, but it never closes. It just keeps going on and on and on. And if you said that this line is called spiral, you are correct. Now this one, we kind of think of the beach and water. What line do you think this one is? If you said wavy, you are correct. This one kind of reminds us of roller coasters. If you said loopy, you are correct. And then lastly, this one has a lot of diagonals connected to each other, kind of like a bunch of triangles around each other, or kind of reminds us of mountains. If you said zigzag, you are correct. So now that we've gone through all of these lines, I want you to take a look at this picture for a little while and see if you can pick out any of the lines we just named. Okay, so there are a bunch of lines in this photo. We have dash lines, scallop lines, diagonal lines, we have vertical lines, zigzag lines, spiral lines, curve lines. There are all different kind of lines in this picture. Okay, so now that we've talked about lines for a little bit, let's talk about portraits, okay? So, a portrait is a picture of a person and it's usually showing the person's face. A picture can be done as a painting, photograph, sculpture, and other forms. And normally, when you have a portrait, you're showing that person's likeness. You can show their personality, or you can even show the mood of the person. So let's take a few looks at some portraits. Here is a drawing of a portrait. What kind of mood do you think this artist was trying to portray? Let's take a look at another one. Here's a painting of Barack Obama. And in here, we can kind of tell that his mood is kind of happy and light, airy. And here's a photograph of a portrait, okay? What kind of mood do you think she's trying to portray? So when you're creating a portrait, it's not just going to be a drawing of a person. You can also convey moods and likeness. So let's get into how you guys are going to be making a portrait and giving it a crazy hair day using lines. So you guys are going to open up our painting app, jspaint.app. You can find the link in the Google Classroom. Oh. And when you find that link, remember I made a whole video on how to use jspaint.app. So if you need to look at that video, I'll have that attached in the description box. But when you're using it, if your box comes out small, just drag it out and make it bigger. And so obviously, if we're going to make a portrait, we first have to start with the head, right? So if you guys remember me talking about how to use these tools, you can go in with a brush and make sure that you have the thickest line. And from there, you can just draw your oval or your circle for your head like this. Okay. And then you can go down, give some slight curve lines for a neck, and you can add a shoulder in there. And then we started off with our portrait. Really, really nice. But I'm also going to show you another way to do this. So I'm going to pull up the Paint app again. If you don't want to use a paintbrush, you can use a circle and click the third box down, and you can draw a perfect circle for the head. And then I can use my paint box and turn it brown. And then I can draw the neck and shoulders from there. So that is also another way you can do this, okay? So I'm going to go back to the one I started on. And I am going to fill in their skin tone. Then I'm going to make sure I get them a t-shirt. So I might want their t-shirt to be green. So I'm gonna just do a U to make it look like a U-neck t-shirt and then fill it in green. Okay, and then from there, guys, you can be as detailed as you want to be when you're adding your eyes. Make sure that you add good details, eyes, nose, eyebrows, anything you want to add. Okay, guys, so once you have your person all set up, you can have your person smiling, they can look upset, whatever it is that you want to do. you can then start to add their crazy hair. So let's go back and look at the different kind of lines that we can use. So I'm going to bring up that line poster that I have. Okay. And I think I'll start off with a zigzag line. So let me get my paintbrush. I'm going to choose the color pink and make it a big one. And I'm going to draw her some zigzag hair. I think I'm going to maybe add some wavy hair in there. Let me get another color. I might want to try using this straight tool, because remember, you can make really straight lines. Like for instance, if you didn't want your zigzag lines to look like that, you could use your straight line tool and draw super straight, precise lines instead. All up to you. I think I'm gonna do a dash line. I might want to do dotted. I can add scallop. And so you're just going to keep going until you have finished your portrait. And you can use any kind of lines you want to use, okay? Any kind of lines you want to use. And once you get done with your portrait, remember, you click File and you hit Save. That's very important. Whatever device you're using, you want to make sure that you click File and Save. That way it's saved to your device. Once you're done, you can upload this to Google Classroom. Now, when you get into Google Classroom, you'll have questions to answer. So let's go over what these questions are going to be. You'll have 4 reflection questions. 1, do you feel like your digital art skills are improving? Why or why not? So you guys used digital art last week, okay? Well, the week before spring break, you guys used this digital app. So do you feel like you're getting better at it? Why or why not? 2, who inspired your portrait? So was it your mom that you drew? Were you drawing yourself? Who inspired your crazy hair day portrait? 3, what lines did you use to create your crazy hair? So I could say that I use zigzag lines, I use wavy lines, and on and on and on. And then lastly, what is the title of your portrait? So you guys are going to name your artwork. And once you've answered those questions and uploaded your digital design, turn it in and you'll be good to go. For the rest of the video, you guys can watch me design another crazy hair day.